So, them the six titles, it's all respect. Like I told everybody for a long time. Like me and Canelo, I got ton of respect for Canelo. I'm a fan of Canelo. I always been a fan of Canelo, and I wanted to be the one to give him like his best. My team telling me, so I wanted to be the one to give him like his best.
Yeah.
The only thing I told him was that you could not give Canelo the son of the ring. And earlier you gave it to him, but then you started outboxing him and outsmarting him with it, and he started taking it back at the right time. So he studied the film very well. He knew when to fight, when to move left, and when to move right. Very smart fight. He completely frustrated Canelo.
The only thing I wonder is if Crawford was born and made in a laboratory, in a test tube, because that was science. That was pure science. No two ways of.
The arena just witnessed history. Crawford shocked the world by dethroning Canelo in a way nobody expected. The atmosphere was electric. Experts were stunned, and reactions poured in as boxing entered a new era. In the middle of it all, Crawford's father stepped forward and calmly said, "I knew my son was that good." His words carried years of sacrifice, late nights, and a father's belief. Greatness isn't built overnight. It's built brick by brick. That single statement summed up a lifetime of faith and a victory that changed boxing forever. Then, Roy Jones Jr. shared his thoughts, speaking with the authority of someone who knows greatness firsthand.
Canelo, because I thought he was so much bigger, almost three weight divisions above him. But the majesty and poise of Terence Crawford's brilliance tonight was to the fore. I had it 9 rounds to 3. I can just about see 8 rounds to 4, the 16-12 score. I cannot see 7 rounds to 5 from 2 of the judges. Terence Crawford tonight, at speed of thought, speed of hands, speed of feet, took it to Canelo when he had to. Canelo had no answers to him. For me, Terence Crawford moves up to the number 1 pound for pound spot in the sport right now, above Naoya Inoue, above Alexander Usyk. He is incredible. To become historically a 3-weight undisputed world champion, it just beggars belief what he's managed to do. He was immense tonight. He took it with humility. There was a little bit of emotion afterwards, but from first to last, I have to say it, Canelo did not have the answers for him. So let's take nothing away from Crawford. It was all of his doing.
Oh, absolutely.
He was the one that made Canelo look older, slower, and without the right...
Roy Jones's words weren't casual. They were a stamp from one of boxing's greatest minds. His statement added more fire to Crawford's win. It wasn't hype. It was recognition, the kind that echoes through history. With that, Crawford's victory became more than a win. It became a benchmark against the very best. Soon, the conversation shifted to where he now stands among the sport's immortals. Veteran analyst Gareth A. Davies also weighed in, breaking down the fight with sharp detail. His reaction carried both awe and authority, capturing the true magnitude of the moment.
He's schooling from start to finish. Listen, it was cagey at the start, don't get me wrong. There was a little bit of nip and tuck, there was a little bit of downloading the data, seeing what the situation is. Interesting that for the full 12 rounds, he only boxed in southpaw. No switch hitting tonight, stayed in southpaw. A little bit of downloading of the data, and then just gradually went through the gears up to round 4, and that's when he started to put his foot down. Everything Canelo did tonight, Bud Crawford had an answer for.
This wasn't just praise. It was a technical verdict delivered with precision. Every observation highlighted Crawford's control and brilliance in all phases of the fight. Coming from a seasoned expert, it wasn't flattery. It was fact proven at ringside. Crawford's performance was not seen as an upset, but as a masterpiece. In that instant, his place at the very top of boxing felt undeniable. Then, Adam Catterall gave his breakdown, focused less on emotion and more on truth, showing exactly how Crawford dismantled the champion step by step.
That if you go back and watch the previews that we did throughout the course of the week, we said that this is a game of IQ. There's going to be movement within the fight. You're going to have to answer different types of questions and bring different types of game plan. Crawford did that. He was able to do it backwards. He was able to do it forwards. He could trade in the pocket, catch the stuff, and then counter. He was absolutely magnificent. Listen, I know this is raw and we've only just walked out the stadium, right?
5 minutes ago.
And when the dust settles on this, we'll probably have better answers and better thought processes. And I'm sure people watching this will get stuck into the comments and maybe say what I'm about to say is quite outlandish. That might be the single best performance that I have ever witnessed live. It was absolutely tremendous. You've got to take into consideration the weight jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154. But let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound for pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend in Las Vegas.
Every word emphasized the control Crawford had from the opening bell to the final moment. It wasn't just about winning rounds. It was about dictating the entire story of the fight. Adam's analysis showed the completeness of Crawford's performance. There were no gaps, no weaknesses left exposed. It was pure schooling, raising Crawford's legend even higher. Adam didn't stop there. He went deeper into why this night was so special. His words carried the raw energy of someone who had just witnessed history firsthand.
Jump. This is a man that was champion at 135, 140, 147, and obviously recently at 154. But let's be honest, he even jumped up to 154 pounds for that. To go then up to 168 and take on the former pound for pound #1 king on a Mexican holiday weekend in Las Vegas and managed to beat him on the cards when the judges tried to do him. Mate, it is out of this world what Terence Crawford just did, and he needs all the flowers in the world, he needs all the praise in the world, and I don't think you're wrong, mate, by saying he's the pound for pound #1. It's an ever-moving list. That performance alone deserves to put him right at the top of the...
This wasn't analysis for the sake of commentary. It was admiration for a performance that pushed the limits of boxing. Crawford adapted, countered, and controlled every situation like a true master. Adam described the fight as a masterpiece in motion. His reflection captured the rare feeling that we had witnessed something unforgettable, destined to be remembered as one of boxing's greatest showcases of skill. He also zoomed out to look at the bigger picture, making Crawford's rise feel even more monumental.
Terence Bud Crawford makes history. I mean, that's the only way I can really start out this video. A lot to unpack on an amazing performance by Terence Crawford. Wasn't the most exciting fight, but really it was about Bud Crawford. It was about what he accomplished tonight. It was about, becoming the first undisputed world champion in the 4-belt era in 3 different weight classes. Really, and the way he did it, and the class that he showed all throughout the preparation, and just flawless. I mean, Terence Crawford has had an amazing career against a lot of very good fighters and world-class fighters, and honestly has barely lost.
He reminded everyone of the weight jumps, the impossible odds, and the stage set on boxing's brightest weekend. It wasn't just about beating Canelo. It was about defying everything stacked against. Adam painted Crawford not just as a winner, but as a history maker. With that, the victory was sealed as one of the sport's greatest feats, worthy of every accolade. Then, Paulie Malignaggi added his breakdown, framing the fight not only as a win, but as a piece of boxing history.
Really boxed very, very well, very, very intelligently. The question mark was what happens when Crawford gets hit cleanly. I'm not sure he got hit cleanly at the whole fight. He got hit with some partial shots. Some shots landed cleanly, but by the time Canelo started landing anything cleanly, I think he was hesitant because he was getting countered so much that he was taking some of the steam off the shots in order to hope to be more accurate. Because even late in the fight, there were a couple of shots that Canelo landed, but they barely moved Crawford, There were some good body shots Canelo was throwing, but Crawford started countering those very, very well. I think the key point started coming once after the first round. Crawford shifted a lot and moved a lot. I wanted to just kind of see where Canelo's power was at. He caught a couple of shots on the gloves. And I think there came a point in the first 1 or 2 rounds where Crawford said, this guy's not as strong as I thought. Because you started seeing Crawford hold his ground more and more. And you started seeing Crawford, doing a lot of catching.
Paulie focused on what truly mattered. Crawford's achievement and the way he carried himself. It wasn't about flash or drama. It was about dominance and composure. He painted the picture of a fighter who has quietly built one of the most complete resumes in the sport, defined not only by victories, but by barely giving opponents a single round. Paulie went deeper, breaking down Crawford's tactics. His analysis wasn't just about what Crawford did. It was about how intelligently he did
Do
it.
a lot of catching and shooting. You got to be willing to take the shot, even if you're going to block it. If a guy's a big puncher, even blocking it can be uncomfortable. And Crawford started getting comfortable catching and shooting, especially when Canelo tried to go to the body. Crawford was catching the shots and coming back by the counters, sharp shots. Crawford never loaded up, but he was sharp the whole night. Sharp with jabs, sharp with counters, some well-placed body shots as well. Canelo landed here and there. I thought Canelo got really frustrated. I thought that headbutt was a little bit more than accidental, to tell you the truth, when he cut Crawford. So I thought that was a little bit more of frustration, because the headbutt may have been accidental, but then you saw Canelo kind of dig his head in Crawford's face. So I thought there was some frustration from Canelo's perspective, because he ran out of answers.
Every adjustment and every counter told the story of a fighter in total control. Paulie explained how even when Canelo looked for openings, Crawford neutralized his power with perfect timing and precision. It was boxing IQ at the highest level. Crawford didn't just survive, he dismantled with intelligence from the very first round. Paulie also highlighted Crawford's sharpness and explained how Canelo's frustration grew as the fight went on.
Canelo has been down in his career. He has not shown an ability to both make an adjustment nor go for it and put his balls on the line. I'm not saying he's got no heart. Obviously, Canelo's been a very good fighter. I'm just saying there's a reason why the Mexican greats all have criticism for this guy. You know, Marquez, Morales, Barrera, and he's done disrespectful things to them, like not getting, block their credentials from his fights and things of that nature, not let them cover fights. This is what they're talking about, dude. Every time this guy is behind, every time this guy needs to put his balls on the line, he just cruises to a decision loss and he's content to do it. And then afterwards says, Viva Mexico, cabrones, and his groupies just appease him and clap. These guys come from a different cloth. The Mexican machismo of the old school greats in Mexican boxing is a different level. Not everyone is expected to live up to it. The Mexican fighters themselves that did live up to it, they expect the new ones to live up to it. So when they don't, naturally they're going to express that. And of course, there's been some criticism from those kind of guys. And I'm not saying Canelo hasn't done some really good things, guys. It's not that. You can criticize a guy and still say he's been a good fighter and all this other stuff. But I think tonight, once again, showed it.
The picture became clear. Crawford was catching, countering, and punishing with accuracy. It wasn't brute force. It was discipline and timing. Paulie noted how Canelo, running out of ideas, resorted to rough tactics that revealed his unraveling. Meanwhile, Crawford stayed calm and composed, turning every exchange into proof of who was truly in charge. Paulie also pulled no punches about Canelo's character under pressure. His analysis was blunt, unfiltered, and truthful. So, what do you think? Was this the best performance of Crawford's career? Do you believe he is now the pound-for-pound king of boxing? And if there's a rematch, how do you see it going? Share your thoughts in the comments below.